everyone. It's Lena Banks, certified financial planning professional and small business coach based here in Austin, Texas. Welcome back to your financial therapy for the week. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. And before we get started, I need to ask you, if you've been enjoying the show, please like, subscribe, give us a review wherever you're listening or watching. I'd really appreciate that. So today's episode is going to be a quick and dirty 5 places you are leaving free money on the table. 5 places to find some free money. So when our minds experience emotions like fear, pride, feelings that can keep us stagnant in our beliefs, we may end up accepting the status quo and therefore overlooking or ignoring the need for change, even when change could help us make or save money. And so, as always, consult a professional when seeking advice on these and other personal financial matters because, as I say, personal finance is personal. But here are some things to think about, honestly, because if you haven't checked these things out, you might be missing out on some free money. And so this show is all about helping us kind of change our mindset, changing our view, helping us think outside of the box. And so here are 5 places you might be leaving free money on the table or losing money that you don't have to. So number 1, if you're not taking advantage of a match opportunity, if you're participating but not contributing enough to get the full match from your employer for your 401k, or if you are not participating at all, either one of those things can be problematic because that's a tax-advantaged account typically, and it's free money that you're missing out on. So 1 or 2 extra percentage points might not seem like a whole lot to add to your financial savings, your retirement savings, but over the course of a 40-year career, it can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. And that's not even including the compound interest and gains involved there that I mentioned earlier would be tax advantaged because they're happening in what's called a qualified account. So clients who prioritize current cash flow over future gains can be a real problem. Take advantage of contributing to your 401k or whatever retirement plan is offered through your employer, if there is one. And even if there isn't one, take advantage of that outside of your employer. There are options for people who do not have that employer option available to them. And if you are not contributing enough to receive the full match possible from your employer, that is free money being left on the table. Okay, so number 2, your savings is in a traditional bank account. So because of something called inflation risk, not investing your savings does mean that you're not just not earning interest, you could actually be going backwards as far as the spending power of your dollars. So inflation risk is when we aren't making enough on our dollars to keep up with inflation, which, as everybody has probably heard, the buzz right now, inflation is skyrocketing. And so we really need to make sure that if we're saving money, it's actually earning enough to keep pace with rising inflation so that we're not going backwards on our spending power. In 2025, inflation was 2.7%, and for the 12 months ending April 2026, it was a whopping 3.8%, so a whole percentage point higher, which doesn't sound like much, but every percentage counts. So most bank accounts would pay less than 10%, 10% of that to hold your money. So in other words, 0.38%. On those dollars is what your average bank might be paying, probably much less than that. So at the very least, you should investigate a high yield savings account that can keep your money liquid so that you can still access it. You want to still be able to have that as cash so that if you have an emergency or something like that, it's available to you. But you want it in a high yield savings account so that it keeps pace with inflation. And there are several high yield savings accounts. If you just Google that, You could probably find a few online banks available, and it might, cost you a tiny bit of time as far as moving your money around. But in the end, having that higher yield percentage interest on your savings is key to keeping pace with inflation. So it's there when you need it for potential emergencies, but still growing at or above the pace of inflation. Clients who think the best place for their money is under their mattress, this is the modern day equivalent. Having your money in a standard, typical bank account, or even worse, a checking account where you're not making any savings, interest on your savings, is can be really problematic. You're actually going backwards in your saving. All right. Number 3, you're not spending on your credit cards. And this is not for the faint at heart. Huge caveat here. So if you are unable to pay your statement balance on your credit card off every month in full, this is not a strategy for you. But if you are already paying your card off every month, your statement balance, every single month, the full statement balance, so not a minimum payment, not minimum payment plus a little extra, but the entire statement balance every month so that you're not paying any interest on those cards, that can actually mean points that are free money. So, it's not a lot. For every $1,000 you spend, you typically, I think, get like around $10 in actual points. Most places are not going to have double, triple points and things like that for you. But it's free money nonetheless. And if you are able to, as I said, I'm going to repeat myself one more time, pay your credit card bill off every single month and you're not paying any interest on those cards, then spending on those cards and earning yourself some points that you can turn into cash back or travel rewards or things like that is free money. And so spending on your credit cards can benefit you greatly as long as you're not giving up those rewards in interest payments on the other side. All right. So this next one kind of goes back to number 2. Your savings in a traditional bank account also goes together with your retirement funds being invested in an investment account. So you need to be making some interest on your investments and not having them sitting in cash in your investment account. So apologize, I want to smush these two back together. So your savings in a traditional bank account is a problem. Your retirement funds sitting in cash in a retirement account, also a problem. It's for the same reason. Every year, as your retirement savings are supposed to be growing, inflation is also growing. And so if you have your retirement funds sitting in a retirement account in cash and they're not invested in some sort of stock, index fund, ETF, something that is actually growing those dollars, then saving them in a retirement account is kind of not as beneficial as it could be. So you want to make sure that your money is actually growing and that you're giving it a chance to grow instead of leaving it stagnant. All right, so the real number 4 here is you're not using tax-advantaged accounts or securing your exemptions. Failing to use tax-advantaged accounts or missing out on valuable credits, deductions, etc., can mean a direct hit to your savings. So research how to maximize contributions to things like your health savings account and individual retirement accounts, IRAs, that operate outside of your company's 401k. Secure homestead exemptions. Protest your property taxes if you can, if it feels feasible for you to do so. One caveat on the protesting your property taxes is that you probably don't want to do that if you're also looking to get something like a HELOC or some sort of equity loan on your property, because you don't want to devalue your property before you try and remove some equity from it. But the point to all of this is that any of them could end up saving you thousands in taxes annually. And so a lot of clients that I see who think that good is good enough as far as managing kind of these tax exemptions and those types of deductions, they feel like they're not that much, they don't benefit them that much. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to think about, but that could cost you thousands of dollars annually. And so pay attention to using your tax advantaged accounts and securing exemptions. And you can talk to any CPA about that sort of situation so that you can have a real tax plan that helps you save real money and stop leaving that money on the table. All right. So number 5, the most interesting one that I think is like for real, just leaving money on the table is unclaimed money. If you search the unclaimed money website, look yourself up, you probably have a lot of little money that you're leaving behind that you can collect, and it could be a real nice dinner out all the way to a vacation for your family. So especially if you've changed jobs, if you've changed banks, if you've moved locations, you may have hundreds or more there waiting for you to claim them. And so unclaimed money is my last tip to find free money that you might be leaving on the table. So I'm going to run through those again. Number 1 was you're not taking advantage of a match opportunity for your 401k or for your retirement account through your employer. That's really important. Number 2 is your savings is in a traditional bank account or your retirement funds aren't invested. If either one of those things are true, you're probably subject to inflationary risk. You probably are moving backwards, even as you're saving money and trying to invest in your future. The third thing is if you're not spending on credit cards, but you're actually paying your balance off in full every single month, you're not using that as a strategy to rack up those points, you're leaving free money on the table. It's a small amount every month, but it can definitely add up. And again, that could mean the difference between a little more cash in your pocket, on vacation that is a little more affordable, etc. But please be sure, I am not telling you to go spend a bunch on your credit cards. Please be sure that you have it in your budget to pay those cards off in full, the full statement balance every single month. And the number 4 place that you might be leaving free money on the table, you're not using tax advantaged accounts or securing your exemptions. So you might be paying more in taxes than you actually need to. And the final thing was unclaimed money. Check that unclaimed money website, see if your name's there, see what you have the ability to claim, because that's just free money. That's your money. You deserve it. You should get it back. All right, guys, that was 5 places that you might be leaving free money on the table or losing money you don't have to. I hope this was a little bit helpful to you. Go out there, find those dollars. Every dollar counts. I'll be back next week with another episode.